see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you are. Hello,
John,
how are you?
Hello,
Nice to
John.
see you. Yeah, fantastic.
Welcome.
And does he have a love of motorbikes, or would that
No,
be still
no,
stupid?
no.
But
We
no,
don't.
What do you do?
Yeah, I mean they look amazing. Though. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah,
he definitely has a love for Fox.
He does. the bikes.
Absolutely, he rides when he can,
Right.
and when he comes home, he rides quite a bit. So what we thought we'd do, Prime Minister, is we walk you around here too. We'll just have the pictures over there,
Right.
and then give you time to look
Yeah.
around. Okay.
It looks amazing.
And
Eh?
ask any questions you like,
Yeah,
of
they're
course.
fantastic. How many ones have you got?
Welcome, Giora. This is a great day. It's been an age coming. This started off with one man who had a love and a fondness for classic and vintage bikes. Started about 7 years ago when Tom Sturgis went to a motorcycle enthusiast meeting at the Stoke Town Hall, and there he saw a Tiger Cub, and the gentleman that he bought it from, Phil Taylor's here today, and Phil was telling me a story about the process that Tom went through to buy that. And if you get a chance to have a chat to Phil, it's quite humorous. And like a lot of bikes here, when you look at the bikes as they stand, they don't tell you much. But when you actually go and listen to someone who has some knowledge about a bike, they take on a certain personality. And it's when you see that personality, then you start to appreciate the bikes for more than what they are. We've got a few stories around these bikes, and if you see one of the staff members as you tour around, just ask them about it, okay? That was a deviation from my speech, but never mind. In our view, this collection is probably the best that you'll see in New Zealand, if not beyond. We know that there are some very rare bikes here. There's some bikes that will never be ridden. And when you move about, particularly upstairs, when you see some of the bikes upstairs, they look so damn nice, you could stick them in your lounge. And I know that John, where's John? John, I think I've seen one in his lounge at one stage too. Now, the bikes here, not all of them will be ridden, but I do want to show you one bike. I'll just point it out to you, that when you look at it, you'd say, no way in hell. That bike that's standing there on that workbench, that's a 1916 Sunbeam. And Tom, this time next year, will have either still riding it or just started the Cannonball Rally, which goes from one side of the States to the other. That bike has to get up to an average of 40 miles per hour to meet the course. We don't think, Stephen, it's 3.5 horsepower. Right, 45. So Tom has to fire that thing at full throttle for about 3 weeks. So when you look at that thing, you just sort of say, come on. The significance and reputation of this collection has been enhanced recently with the addition of the Britain bikes, and that is through the goodwill of Kirstine Britain. Now, some of the collection is not here today. Now, when you look at these bikes, like all the rest, they're just magnificent pieces of engineering and just stunning work. And we know that bike, along with all the rest here, would be welcome in most collections throughout the world. So, Kirstine, thank you so much for that. When you look around, you see the decorations. Neil McLaughlin, the magic man, is here today. Please introduce yourself to him, because he created this space. So it's not only a great space, I think it's a great place. So Neil, thank you for that. It is a wonderful place. For me, I think it's a place of learning, I think it's a place of reflection. It's a place to hide away. It's just a wonderful environment. And if you get overdosed on the bikes, then you can go around and look at the posters. Some of these posters are older than the bikes. They're very, very significant. And every time you look at it, like a good piece of art, they tell you something new. Every time. So don't just look at the bikes when you go around here. Please have a look at the paintings as well. It is extremely important for those people who know Tom and Heather. They're very giving people, and one of the things that they would be delighted to know is that people come and have a look at this. That's why they built this facility. That's the primary reason. A, to house the bikes. B, for people to enjoy them. So, you know, he will be delighted even though he's not here. It's a bit like snap, no crackle and pop. It's a shame that they're not here. But they did give me a note to read, and I'd like to read that to you now. Heather and I are delighted you are here today to officially open New Zealand Classic Motorcycles. We are grateful for the hard work, inspiration and support of so many who have worked so assiduously over the last 5 years to bring this vision to reality. That there are too many to recognise individually today does not reduce either their contribution or our appreciation. We are delighted with the result, and we hope you are as well. Old motorbikes are meant to be fun, poignant, lively and alive. We hope they bring a smile to your face and a memory to your heart of a simpler time. Their home here, we hope, reflects that and adds in a little way to the enjoyment of life in Nelson. So, thank you, Tom and Heather. So that's my lot. So, Prime Minister.
Kia ora tātou. Chris, firstly, thank you, and just want to acknowledge you and the team here. Rachel and Nick just pay tribute to the leadership showing locally. Firstly, just want to, in absenteeism, basically acknowledge Tom and Heather. You know, it's a remarkable thing to be as generous as this, to set up a facility which is benefiting the community, which is of great enjoyment, fantastic tourism attraction, and just a fun thing. And obviously wish Tom a speedy and healthy recovery. When you're Prime Minister, one of the really cool things is you get to go around New Zealand and you see all these amazing little gems that are just hidden away that you'd never know they were there unless you lived locally. And this is definitely one of them that's going to be marked down on when people ask me where should I go and what should I go and see. I'll be telling them come here and have a look at these magnificent vintage motorbikes. It reminds me a bit of in Omaka, the thing that's been done there with Peter Jackson. It's just an incredible World War I facility. You'd never believe it. We took Prince William and Kate there when they were over here most recently. I think if you just take a moment to reflect on it, this is a place for everybody, isn't it? It's certainly a place where I'm sure young people will come along and sort of marvel at the technology and how old things look, and sort of in disbelief that people would actually have credibly used these as a form of transport back in the day, right through to a bit of an understanding maybe of how motorbikes work. But they're also a thing of great beauty, and for any age group they're a fun place to come and get a bit of a sense of motorbikes. I don't think you actually have to be a massive motorbike enthusiast to come here. You just have to want to spend a little bit of time understanding what sort of motor vehicles were developed over the years, or motorbikes were developed over the years, and understand the history of it. I'm Minister of Tourism, and as Minister of Tourism it's great to know that we're developing all sorts of places that people can come. You've got a number of them here. Obviously you've got WOW. Now you've got this. I think Nick's got a cunning plan to work on something else as well, and it's just going to be yet another thing to encourage both domestic but also international tourists to come to the Nelson Tasman area and really enjoy it. Finally, just want to acknowledge all the volunteers and the work that they do. Like any place like this, it's one thing to have the generosity of someone like Tom and his wife Heather, but also you need to make the place function and operate, and the volunteers are a really critical part of that, so thank you for what you do. And lastly, just that it's great to see the philanthropic nature of what's happening here. This is something for the community, but it's giving back to the community, and it's a really lovely aspect of it. We've had a great day actually in Nelson today. Rachel and I have been tic-tacking all over the show. I think I've been to everything from the Aquaculture Conference right to having more peanut butter than I could possibly ever eat my entire life. But my son's going to be very happy about it because he's a big fan. And right through the Chamber of Commerce, but saving the best for last, so looking forward to having a good look around. But thank you very much for having me here, and it's great to officially declare it open. I know a few months after you opened the door, but it's great to have the privilege of doing that, so thanks for having us.
Thank you.
On your behalf, just want to thank the Prime Minister for taking the time to come to Nelson and be part of opening this wonderful new asset for our community of Nelson. He's the Minister of Tourism, and what I love is that he understands the importance of that industry to regional New Zealand. We're delighted by the extra air links, Rachel, that were coming to our region, and Prime Minister, your support for recognising the importance of that for places like Nelson. And Prime Minister, you've been a very strong advocate of making sure that communities like Nelson actually complement our great parks and our great wine, our great food, actually with activities that make us unique. And while we're lucky to have a unique attraction with massive $1 million of investment and volunteers for this facility. The part that's inspirational for me is also the story of what migrants can contribute to both Nelson and our nation. You know, I reflect PM on people like Elko Boswick, who came to Nelson and had the foresight to create cafes outside that we all thought was a bit loopy, and has actually changed our community forever. Or Herman Seyfried, who came to Nelson as a migrant to try and make wine out of apples, and actually thought good wine out of grapes, which we said you can't do, and Nelson has established a whole industry. Equally so, I think we must pay tribute to Tom and for Heather in a story of just actually how much a community like Nelson benefits from the generosity of somebody that's chosen Nelson as their home. And may that be a message to us to have a welcome door for people of the talent, the vibrancy and the generosity of Tom Sturgis that's enabled us to make this happen. The last little bit, I'm an engineer, and I'm trying to convince my two boys that they might be engineers, and they think I'm a bit dorky. And the nice thing for me when I brought them here is that they said to me after, "Oh, engineers are quite cool, Prime Minister." And having something like the Britain Bike in our community in a facility such as this is an inspiration for a new generation of innovators in New Zealand, which is actually, Prime Minister, what we're going to need for this century if we're going to cut the mustard and making this community and this country ours the very, very best that it can be. So, conclusion, can you put your hands together and thank the Prime Minister for being here?
Yeah, cleaner. Yes, I'm a domestic engineer on Saturdays too.
Steve Scullion. Steve's the mechanic, head mechanic here, so he's responsible for all those bikes out there.
I am the least mechanical person you'll ever meet, so come and live at our house. Good to meet you.
I can still want to test your memory. Yeah. But I said I was coming. A friend of mine, Dave Marshall,
Oh yes.
He said he might remember.
Yeah, I do.
That's why I found him.
Stu McCann.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you.
Stu helps us to help on a lot of the e-bits.
Before you go to the media thing, we'd like to present you with this painting. That's one of the early Indians, and it's done by a Nelson artist. Really big.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much. That's very kind of you. That's big. Yeah, pleased to do it.
It all comes in these types of paint.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I've got a great spot in my office for that. So inside the toilet door, John, or something, perhaps? No, I've got an office in the back. It's great. I've got pictures of people building different things. Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
So do you want to get a photo there?
Excuse me.
All yours, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.